Homie want me on a vid, he gon' see the wrath of the Reaper. Last video, the Response Reaper collected another soul, but in this video, I'll be expanding on the ideas I talked about and explaining what I think creates a perfect war arc. The basic skeleton of a war arc is that there are multiple characters having multiple fights at the same time. The first element that will contribute to a perfect war arc is making each of the final fights personal, because they hit harder that way. There are many ways to do this. The common thread is that there's some personal connection between the combatants. Here are some examples. Todoroki fights his brother. Rukia fights the person that almost killed her brother. Zuko fights his sister. Sasuke and Itachi used to be rivals, but are now working together. Kakashi and Obito were childhood friends. Ichigo and Uryu were friends before Uryu switched sides. Gaara fought his father. Just because they have the first element doesn't automatically make the fight good. For example, Ichigo vs Uryu was lame to me, despite having potential. The story didn't dive into Uryu's betrayal enough, and the actual fight was too short. The second element is having rivals fight. This is sort of an extension of the first element. The reason this is good is because rival battles are automatically set up. The two characters can't be rivals unless there's been a rivalry built up before the fight. There are different ways to create rivalries. The first is to have them fight multiple times. Ochako and Tsuyu vs Toka is an example of this. They fought in the forest arc, in the paranormal arc, and then in the final arc. That's 3 times. Zuko vs Azula is another example. They fought in Avatar State, The Chase, Boiling Rock, and the finale, which is 4 times. Levi and Zeke is another example. They fought at Shiganshina, the beginning of Marley, in the forest, and at the end, 4 times, like Zuko. The second way is to hype up the fight. Both Deku vs Shiki and Aang vs Ozai were hyped up for a long time, despite the characters not fighting each other. Uryu vs Haishwot was set up because the latter was the right-hand man replaced by Uryu, who he didn't trust. When Uryu eventually switched back, they were bound to fight. A cheat code for rivals is to have them be foils. That way the audience just expects them to fight based on their parallels. A foil can either be a complete opposite or a mirror. A potential example would have been Byakuya and Renji versus Hash and Basby. The Quincy's duo's personalities and dynamic was reminiscent of the Shinigami duos, but this is not actually capitalized upon. The third element is having some kind of character development. This can be an arc from one of the characters, or development in relationships. Here are examples. All the heroes try to save the villains in MHA. Rukia finally gains Byakuya's respect. Sasuke finally understands his brother and works with him for the first time. Naruto changes Obito. Naruto's relationship with the Kyuubi and his village changes and is visually depicted. Naruto is able to use Kurama's power without harming himself, and he spreads his cloak to all his allies with high fives. All Might's relationship with his students went from him inspiring them to them also inspiring him. The fourth element is having new power-ups. It's cool, enough said. Rukia finally unlocks her Bankai. Many other characters finally reveal their Bankai, like Kisuke or Shunsui, and other characters also unlock their Shikai or Bankai, like Kenpachi and Nanao. In MHA, characters' quirks awaken, giving them new powers. Sasuke gets EMS, Naruto gets new Kyuubi forms, Sakura gets her Byakko, Guy uses 8 gates, and Naruto and Sasuke get Sage powers. Aang brings out energy bending. The fifth element is having actual military warfare and tactics. Avatar kinda had tanks and other war machines for the Fire Nation. I don't think any story has had infantry, cavalry, and artillery all properly used together, but Naruto does bring the best effort with the allied shinobi forces. They were split up into different divisions, each with a specific purpose or specialty. There was surprise attack, medical, mid-range, short-range, long-range, and more. This might be the closest thing to infantry, cavalry, and artillery. The intelligence division used their unique jutsu to gain and distribute information from a safe distance. Furthermore, there were groups of ninja that could all use the same element, as shown when the water users synced up to counter Madara's fire. There was also a sealing team to counter the Edo Tensei and a communications team. And if you thought that was a lot, there was strategy within the deployments that made use of the terrain. There were initial, secondary, and nighttime deployments by the allies. There were battles in different places, and the Zetsu even attacked at night while disguised at one point. There are numbers of troops and casualties given as well. That fourth war arc was going hard as bricks with the military tactics, and people don't talk about that enough. The story really thought about how wars would actually be fought with the powers and technology of its setting. The sixth element is callbacks. It's not necessary, but it's always appreciated. Ida using his speed to bring in Todoroki as backup is a callback to him bringing in reinforcements in USJ. Team 7 does the 3-way deadlock, which is a callback to the Sannin doing it in the war and in the Tsunade arc. Naruto and Sasuke used majestic attire like Madara did in the past. Naruto and the rookies coming together to use the 9 Rasengans alongside the majestic attire is a magical payoff for their bonds. All Might's armor using powers inspired by his students is another example. In conclusion, I believe that a perfect war arc can be accomplished by having personal battles, rival battles, character development, power-ups, military warfare, and callbacks and payoffs. Obviously it has to meet my universal standards of storytelling, like good character, theme, plot, etc. But these are the enhancing elements specific to war arcs. As of now, no war arc does all of these things perfectly.